Hello everyone, this is Brittany Begeman and I will be doing or highlighting my lesson on cells and the organelles, a 6th through 8th grade science lesson and on life science. My unit is cells and my text is The Fascinating World of Cells, Cell Organelles and Their Functions. You can click this link and it will take you to this webpage here. My standards are middle school life science, for the Common Core, South Dakota. Develop and use a model to describe the function of a cell as a whole and ways the parts of the cell contribute to the function. And the supporting standard in writing for this, the Common Core standard, is to integrate quantitative or technical information expressed in words into a text with a version of that information expressed visually. So how I'm going to integrate these standards into an outcome for my students is, for a result of this lesson, students will work in groups of 3 in order to create a cell, and all the cells within, or all of the organelles within the cell will be labeled in parts. There'll be 9 parts of the cells or organelles that they're going to have to label and also explain the function of. And then they're going to have to do this with 100% accuracy. And I'm hoping by the end of my lesson, after all the work that we're going to be doing on this unit, that they'll be able to do this. All right. So for my assessments, in order to make sure that they're able to understand and learn, and I know that they're learning, I'm going to use questioning in my lesson. The students are going to be doing KWL charts to get through the text, and we'll have a class discussion. I'm going to take observations and notes as they are, as we're discussing in class, and also as they're reading. I'll walk around and see how they're doing by looking at their KWL charts. And then for my summative assessment, they're going to do a writing assessment on a narrative in which they will also use those same 9 organelles in their writing. Each of the organelles is going to have a personality in their story, and they'll have a beginning, middle, and end for this story. And they're going to express their thoughts, feelings, and interactions between a molecule that enters the cell and the organelles within it. So how the cell gets into this, how the molecule gets into the cell, and then how it interacts with all the organelles and then exits. And that's how they're going to do their writing assignment, and that will be at the very end of my lesson. For my differentiation, I'll have English language learners working with a partner to work through the text. I'm going to have students on IEPs fill out this worksheet here, so they won't have to work so hard to match up with their peers. They're going to do a matching, so as they work through the text and find the organelle, they're going to match the organelle and its description to the picture, instead of drawing it like their peers. So that way they won't have to work as hard. And the high ability learners, I'm going to have them add details to their drawings, as like maybe parts of the nucleus inside. Maybe do a little bit of research and have them add details while they're waiting for their peers to finish the KWL assignment. So for my introduction to the lesson, we're going to be doing a KWL chart. But first, I'm going to ask the questions: what is a cell? What is in it? And why is it important to the human body? Those are my essential questions. So we're going to first open the discussion by I'm going to ask my students, what do you already know about cells, if you know anything about them, if you've ever seen them or heard about them before. And then we're gonna write down what we want to know about the cells, and then we're also going to write what we have learned as the students go through and read the text. And we'll also discuss the chart at the very end of the reading as well. They're going to use that as a guide. They're going to write down the organelles and draw a picture of them, and also in their learned column as they work through that text. So my other procedures for this lesson, While the students are working, I'm going to assess, so they'll walk around and I'll check for student engagement and understanding. Then, we're going to, like I said, we're going to have that open discussion as we work through that KWL chart. I'm going to make sure that those essential questions are at least addressed from everyone, and we'll do all of this in class together. Then I'm going to give the directions on how they're going to make their cell models. So they're going to be working in groups of 3 to build that organelle out of Play-Doh and pop bottles. And they're going to do this because working with their hands will help them remember. It's a hands-on learning activity, and it will help them remember everything they're learning and maybe absorb it. And hopefully have some fun, because it's always fun to build. So then independent practice, they'll be working on the models of the cell, or group work anyway. Then the students will present their models to the class and explain each organelle within their model. And then at the end of the lesson, for their take-home assignment, they'll do the craft assignment on the writing narrative. And also for my closure, I'm going to ask them the so what questions, and I have those in my lesson here. The closure. Connect the information to the students' real lives by asking so what. Why do cells matter? Why do parts of the cell matter? And discuss those answers, make sure that those are understood before I dismiss the class. And then I also tacked on my writing assignment at the very end of the lesson here. Thank you guys, and see you later.